Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded 19th century city. Horses pulling carriages, street vendors shouting, smoke rising from factories, mud, noise, traffic jams everywhere. Now imagine someone saying, "What if we go underground?" This is the story of how train tunnels and subway tunnels were born. How a wild idea became one of the greatest engineering revolutions in human history. And how cities like New York City built underground railways long before computers, lasers, or modern machines existed. It all began with a problem. Cities were choking. In the early 1800s, industrial cities were growing faster than anyone expected. Millions moved into urban centers for factory jobs. Streets were narrow. Transportation depended on horses and carriages. Traffic jams were already a nightmare, long before cars even existed. The first solution was to build upward. Elevated railways appeared in New York City during the 1860s and 1870s. These L trains ran above the streets. They helped reduce congestion, but they were loud, darkened the roads below, and shook nearby buildings. Engineers began thinking differently. If the streets are full and the sky is crowded, why not go underground? The first true underground railway opened in London in 1863. Workers used a method called cut and cover. They dug a giant trench into the road, built brick tunnels, laid tracks, and then covered everything back up. No tunnel boring machines. No electric drills. No GPS. Just shovels, pickaxes, dynamite, and thousands of laborers. Steam trains ran through those tunnels, filling them with smoke and heat. It wasn't perfect, but it proved underground transportation was possible. News spread quickly. By the late 1800s, New York City faced a massive transportation crisis. Manhattan was becoming one of the busiest places on Earth. Elevated trains were overcrowded. Streets were gridlocked. But digging underground in New York was far more difficult than London. Manhattan sits on hard rock, mixed with soil and groundwater. Workers wouldn't just be digging dirt. They would be blasting through stone. The idea for a New York subway had been proposed in the 1860s, but political corruption, financial risks, and engineering fears delayed the project. Then came an inventor named Alfred Ely Beach. The company behind the project was the Interborough Rapid Transit Company, the IRT. Construction was intense and dangerous. Entire streets were ripped open using the cut-and-cover method. Businesses suffered. Traffic became chaotic. Residents complained daily. Workers used pickaxes, drills, and controlled explosions to carve tunnels through rock. In softer soil, wooden beams supported the tunnel walls to prevent collapses. There were cave-ins, flooding, misfired explosions, injuries and fatalities. And remember, this was done without modern safety equipment or advanced machinery. To cross rivers, engineers built underwater tunnels using pressurized air chambers to keep water out. Workers risked decompression sickness, known as the bends. It was slow, risky, unbelievably ambitious. Then came the historic day. On October 27, 1904, the first official subway line in New York City opened to the public. The mayor operated the first train himself. Crowds cheered. Stations filled instantly. More than 100,000 passengers rode on opening day. It was an immediate success. For just 5 cents, passengers could travel miles in minutes, avoiding street congestion completely. The subway transformed the city. People could now live farther from where they worked. Neighborhoods expanded. The Bronx and other boroughs grew rapidly. Real estate boomed. The Underground Railway didn't just move people. It reshaped urban life. Other cities followed.